Hello everybody, how you doing? I haven't gone AWOL, I'm here. Technical issues, always. Thing is, if you go on Streamlabs and you press go live without pressing a little tab at the top, it doesn't do the stream that you said you were going to do. And then I get two separate groups of people going, where are we supposed to be then? Sort of like when you're outside the armoury 4 hours too early. Right, you all know the crack. Talked about it loads. How's everyone doing? Not bad. Marvellous. Shams is in. How you doing? Jeff, Tracy, Kevin, Davey, Richie Island, 51 North, Plague Marine, the Sash Teresa. The locals are in. Kate's still got a shagged ankle. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It's never fun. Just been reading about this on Tommy's Telegram. Oh yeah, well I was surprised to see the BBC cover it for a change. They're about as interested in covering, you know, they love talking about something as trivial as, I don't know, some old tramp having a pocket wank on the bus. But if a certain group of men systematically torture and abuse thousands of young kids, they couldn't give a monkey's fart, could they? They just don't care. And there's another story that I will talk about because it's just ridiculous to me. You know, I keep talking about how, like, you get this shit. Female football fans share experiences of abuse. I don't understand how it's still a thing in this day and age when you've got social media with literally million, in fact, no, literally, I know I say I don't like to use the word literally unless I'm actually being literal, and I'm doing it again here, right? Not a word I overuse. I don't say I literally jumped out of my skin when I didn't fucking jump out of my skin. Yeah, that's the way people are nowadays. Literally shit myself. You didn't literally shit yourself, or you would have just filled your pants right in front of me. Literally billions of people are on social media. Billions. Actually billions. And they make a story out of fucking whinging. Like, seriously, how many times have I talked about this? How many times have I went, how's this a story? You get them on the BBC and the Guardian. The woman being insulted on Twitter. Here's all the facts. Well, it's not a story. It's not a story. There's a billion people on there. Of course someone's going to call you a cunt every now and then. I've had plenty of death threats. I get off on death threats. Death threats engorge me. Yeah? They fill it with blood. So, because it brings back the good old days. It's like a taste of the action. When someone's physically trying to assault you or kill you, yeah? It's like a little touch of it. Someone having a go at you on the internet. Nowhere near the same thing, which is why it's not a fucking story. But it wouldn't be a story if it was 10 times worse. If it was like, I was walking down the street and a man came right in my face and said, "You're that Angry Bootneck guy. I hate you. I hope you get eyeball cancer." That'd be much worse than someone sending me it via a tweet, wouldn't it? And even then, it wouldn't be a story. Because making a story on national news entitled, "Person is rude to another person," isn't a story. It is less interesting than watching the paint dry. It happens 500,000 times a day, every day, 365 days a year in Britain. Every single day, someone is a cunt to you. Have you got the timepiece, mate? Suck my cock. Happens all the time. Up north, it's a chewy place to live. It's not news. So how do they get this shit? And with a straight face keep putting it up on the BBC? All the time. All the time. I was insulted today. I couldn't give a monkey's fart. We all get insulted. It's just common as muck. And the BBC insist on every day there's a story. Every day. This fat woman was called lard arse. Well, yeah. She looks like she eats mayonnaise out the jar with a fucking dessert spoon. Of course she was called lard arse. It's gonna happen. I'm not promoting it. But it's going to happen, isn't it? There's 70 million people in this country. 1 or 2 of them are going to be wankers. It's not a fucking news headline, is it? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, let me have a look at some of the chat. How's the middle class? That's not me. You're obviously not talking to me. There is no middle class in Middlesbrough. It's called Middlesbrough, but there is no middle class. Yeah? 0.1% of the town has money, and the rest are gutter snipe scum, rolling amongst the hay with the wild animals on the floors of their hovels. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, still a bit quiet, eh? Is it? I thought... Let me have a look. Oh no, it's alright. What else? Alan's, yeah, we know what Alan does. We know what Alan does. Don't need to cover that anymore. Like, share, yes, do that. You might as well. Anthony, hello, how are you doing? Teresa, they say, oh, I'm a strong woman. Oh, yeah, they do. That's the funny part, isn't it? So they go to the BBC. Have I got a scoop for you? Can you imagine that? If I rang the BBC with a scoop, it'd be something mental. It'd have to be something mental. Like, oh, I've got a scoop for you. What? I was abducted by fucking Elvis. Yeah, there's a story. He's not only dead, he abducted me, took me to an abandoned location and raped me with a broom shank. There's a story. But these fuckers, they phoned the BBC. Have I got news for you? Well, what? Tell us the scoop. Someone was rude to me today. What? Someone was rude. Yeah. They called me fat. Oh, well, it could be a story. Are you fat? Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Got an arse like back end of a bus. Not really a story then, is it? Okay, see you later. But the BBC put that on every day. Someone was mean. Someone was mean in cyberspace. Hot off the press. Couldn't give a shite. Couldn't give a shite. Let me have a look. Do a few more comments. Working on it, mush. Birmingham. Shams lives in Birmingham. Joking aside, that is probably the only place I've ever been and thought it was worse than Middlesbrough. And I am including Afghanistan, Iraq, Sierra Leone, Northern Ireland, anywhere else I went. Senegal. Birmingham's bottom of that list. It's Iraq. Iraq was actually quite nice. Afghanistan, Sierra Leone, Middlesbrough, Birmingham. There's the pecking order. What a shithole. I suppose that's what you get when you have Labour in charge for 40 fucking years, isn't it? Have they ever had a Tory in Birmingham? I don't think so. Rory, I was talking about the brother. Oh, okay, not the tar. Fair enough. Make that logical. Yeah. The Yorkshire Ripper was about women living in fear to this day. Tale of evil. Yeah. Yorkshire Ripper. And the women were cracking on. You see photos of them in the Second World War and they're like drinking tea amongst the rubble. It's like, what happened? Bomb blew up house. Killed baby. Still, never got the kettle. That's what they're like. That's what, you see the photos of them. I'm obviously trying to be humorous with it, but that's actually what happens. You see photographs, women sat on the haunches because they haven't got a fucking chair amongst the rubble with a cup of tea. Baby got bombed. Still got kettle. Casually taking it. Stoicism. Stoicism that doesn't exist anymore. Now, we've got this shit. Someone was mean to me on Facebook. Put me on the BBC. Fuck off. It's lunacy, isn't it? They won't put it on the BBC if you get staked to the floor by the followers of Alan's world-famous snack bar. If you get staked to the floor and gang fucked by 50 of them, they'll try and hide that away on the fucking the regional news, like that poor kid who got killed up in Glasgow years ago when a load of followers of the desert god, when a load of them lads got raged about some trivial fucking incident. So they kidnapped a young Chris, was it? He wasn't called Chris Donaldson. That was a terrible footballer that played for Middlesbrough, but same neck of the woods. And they hide that away on the local news. Don't want anyone to know about that. But someone getting called fatty on social media, fucking hell, stop the presses. Ridiculous. Greetings, Irish. Everyone gets abused at the football. Yeah, I was at a Borough game once, and I remember one of the players got injured. I don't even know if they do it anymore, but at that sort of period in the 90s, early 90s, if a fucking player got injured, the St. John's ambulance used to run up at Middlesbrough, And I always remember, because a mate of mine from school was on the St John's ambulance, and they ran on the pitch, and there's a bird there. And one of the fans seen there was a lass there and started to chant, "Get your tits out, get your tits out, get your tits out for the lads." And it promptly was taken up by everybody there. Women, kids, pensioners, everyone. There's about 8,000 people going, "Get your tits out for the lads." And everyone laughed, including the woman who went a particular shade of crimson. But, not the end of the world. Surely that's worthy of a BBC headline if this fucking drivel is. Anyway. That's disassociation and trauma, not stoicism. You have no idea what is about Lord of the Rings. Well, first of all, Lord of the Rings is hardly easy reading, is it? There's a lot of whimsical songs in there and poetry, and it's far more than simplistic prose. So I would argue that if you can fully digest Lord of the Rings, you could probably read anything. And I have read Aurelius and various Stoics. So, yeah, if I wanted to get into a lengthy debate about the difference between Stoicism and dissociation, we could do that. But frankly, I'm not a boring cunt, Matty. So we'll have to leave that to later. But I will allow the general watchers of my channel to decide whether or not they think, just because I swear quite frequently, that I don't have any ability to process anything more complex than the fucking Gruffalo, yeah? But again, you carry on being a stereotypical snooty intellectual. You do you, old boy. Where is the scruffy tosser? Surely you're not talking about me there. Who are you talking about? I don't normally have a sidekick. Sad wings. Adam Johnson, yes, he was a nonce. Tommy Walker, I remember them days you had to go to someone's got to call them a bastard. Yeah, the good old days, right? Where people had a fucking backbone. Your budgie's cage is bigger than this, what's that? Don't fully understand that one. Tracy, born and bred in a council estate, never felt like a victim. Yeah, me either. If you're a single son of a single parent from Middlesbrough, I've never felt like a victim in my entire life. But again, that's our generation, right? They breed victims now. They tell you you're a fucking victim because they think it's sexy. Think it makes them look cool. Makes them stand out from the crowd. It doesn't. It's unattractive. In women, men, gays, lesbians, whatever your fucking cup of tea is, you want someone who's confident and capable, not a fucking loser. I don't know how else to say that. If you're a lefty arsehole and you want to argue the toss, I don't know how you can. Maybe some people are into a weak, pathetic, mewling person for a partner, but I would suggest if you are, you've got a mental illness of your own, right? It's some sort of feeling of power or dominance that you're into. Most people want a partner. It's called a partner. This is my partner. The reason we pick these words is because they're logical. You want a partner in a relationship. My missus, she's a partner. She's fit. She's smart. She's confident. She's useful. A relationship is a partnership. And if you don't want a partnership, there's something wrong with you. If you want someone you can control and dominate because they're pathetic and weak and cry all the time and fucking act like a victim, I would suggest you look in the mirror and try and look into your own psyche, because you're probably not all there. Right? Right. What else? All right, I've done enough chat. I'll do some gossiping before I fuck off. I'm not staying late tonight. So, this one, oh yeah, and I do have to say, I finally finished my, can I zoom out a little bit? I finally finished my pen and ink drawing of the jovial liberal bootneck. This will be my rebranded channel when this one inevitably gets banned. Included is, we can see there, we've got the newly branded jovial liberal bootneck there. He's being, hang on, I have to get this the right way around, yeah. He's being accompanied by the paratrooper with the gimp mask and the Y-fronts and the hairy legs, and a BLM banner and some hearts and butterflies, and obviously he's got the gay pride flag. The jovial liberal bootneck. Surely this will push me into the millions, right? Susan will promote this all day long. In fact, I wouldn't even have to do content. All of the engaging, intelligent, well thought out content I've made, that's worthless. It's just the optics nowadays, isn't it? So I can make a channel called The Jovial Liberal Bootneck and have spiky dildos and gimp suits and fucking spunk-crusted fucking hobos all over it. And I could just make videos where I just sit there going, for like minutes at a time. And I'll get millions of subscribers. Millions. Because Zuckertwat and Doorstop and Susan, they'll push that out for all the world to see. Because I'm waving my fucking spiky dildo around. And that's great stuff. Yeah, everyone loves to see that. Everyone. And if you don't, it's because you hate gay people. Yeah, apparently. You don't think 8-year-olds should see fisting on the high street? Well, no, you're just full of hate. Same as I keep saying about this Laurel Hubbard. I'm sick of hearing about Laurel Hubbard. No aspect of my entire life has ever been homophobic. Disagree with many of you conservative religious types. You're all well aware of it, but we're all adults here, so we can disagree. I was raised agnostic, no religiosity in my life at all. And most homophobia, in my honest opinion, does seem to come from scripture. Doesn't matter whether it's the Jewish faith, the Christian faith, or the snack bar one that I'm not allowed to mention, or you get 6 months in prison. All three of them have endemic problems with homophobia. And I'm not, and I never have been, and I never will be. Because I don't care. Because I'm socially liberal. But it's really weird, isn't it, how I'm pro-LGBT. I believe every person, adult, should be free to live their life however they want. But if you simply say, I think it's a bit unfair letting a hairy-arsed 35 truck driver suddenly change everything about the gender and then start flinging weights about while their big fucking hairy kite is sticking out from under the spandex. Apparently you're a bad person and you don't like trans people. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What do you mean I don't like them? I'm not saying anything bad about them at all. And Laurel Hubbard should be free to live her life unmolested because I don't want people to be arseholes. You shouldn't be going up to people and being mean and horrible to them who you don't even know. So nobody should be horrible to Laurel Hubbard. Nobody should be saying nasty things to her, calling her a fucking slut. Leave her alone. She's allowed to do whatever she likes. But it's unfair to let her sling fucking iron about against little short-ass birds who can't be expected to compete with her. It's not fair. I'm not having a go at her, or anybody who's trans, or anybody. No one should be fucking insulted, or abused, or oppressed, or made to feel small. But Christ almighty, just saying you don't think it's fair, why does that make you a bad person? I do not understand it. The fact that we can't even talk about this stuns me. You can't even talk about it. Really, really weird. Not saying anything bad about anyone, not saying anything cruel or mean or dispiriting to anyone ever, and I wouldn't do it. But fuck me. What about all the young lasses who've trained for ages? Trained their whole lives, and then you get stitched up because biology exists. It's shocking. It's shocking that we can't talk about it. And then poor old Sharon Davies opens her mouth and they're like, oh, you're a bigoted bitch as well. It's like, you're not being mean to anyone. You're just saying it doesn't look like it's fair. Madness, right? Fucking lunacy. And this is why the left keep losing. Because people see nice people like Sharon Davies getting ostracised when they don't deserve it because they've never said anything hateful. And it fucking pisses you off. Because you go, you know what, that is an injustice. Human beings don't like to see injustice because any one of us could get stitched up. So, yeah, that's why the left's losing, because they've gone fucking crazy. Stupid bastards. Have a word with yourselves, lads. Have a word with yourselves. Why do you make me call you a bunch of cunts? You force me to do it, because you can't see the wood for the trees. Paz was in, was he? Sorry, I was in the middle of a rant there, Paz. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, ridiculous. Oh, yeah, Paz was pushing Voice of Wales the other day. I watched that video with the Lotus Eaters. I didn't realise how bad Wales had got. I didn't realise Wales was basically a fucking failed state. I didn't realise that they'd stitched it up so everybody could vote in Wales. Everybody. Like, if you just tip up in a canoe, the next day you can vote in the fucking election. Like, I didn't know that. No wonder Labour made gains in Wales. It seems like they've rigged it. So that's lunacy. Anyway, I'm constantly going off on a tangent here. If you want to have a look at that, yeah, I'm gonna finish it up and I'll send someone it, because frankly I've totally neglected anyone who sent me any money on Subscribestar, because I'm shit at personal administration and I'm always doing shit like this rather than, making some exclusive stuff for people. So if you want it, have a look and I'll mail it to one of you lucky or unlucky bastards very soon. Cheers. What have I got? What are the social distancing rules? Fuck me. We talked about this the other day, didn't we? It's too complicated to go into. To go into. So I was going to do this because it was updated today. 10 hours ago. But frankly, trying to fucking get my head around it is mind-numbing. I think you would need to be like an astrophysicist. Yeah, get Brian May in. Maybe he can decipher it, but I can't, alas. I only have an average IQ. You need to be some sort of fucking visionary genius to get to the bottom of this page and actually have any idea what the fuck is going on. It's the most stupid, contradictory bunch of fucking claptrap I've ever read in my life. Like I said, group exercise classes and fucking cinemas, but then they're going to tell you to be cautious about hugging your fucking granddad. So, lunacy. Let's not even bother. What have I got left? Oh yeah, okay. I'm possibly taking my life into my own hands here, but as always, I'll self-censor, and we will just cover this because I feel like it's a moral duty to cover these stories because people do cover them up. Calderdale, child sexual exploitation, 29 geezers charged. 29 geezers. And just regarding the trans thing, these were probably all biological men. I'm sick of women getting stitched up for the fucking shit that men do. So just be aware, these 29 men, safe to say they are all biological men, yeah? Ladies, your crime statistics have gone through the fucking roof lately, haven't they? Gone through the roof. Poor bastards. We know. It's not you, girls. It's not you. So, 29 men have been charged in connection with the sexual exploitation and rape of a girl over a 7-year period. 7 years? How does it go on for 7 years? Do you think if I was, even thinking of raping someone more than once? I mean, the first time you'd have a fucking SWAT team out looking for you, wouldn't you? 7 years? How are they getting away with that? I think we know why they're getting away with that. Because we have two-tier policing, right? Talked about it all the time. It's demonstrable. Again, people will whine and whinge and argue the toss because it's politics. I'm going to argue because of politics. It's obvious. We have two-tier policing. It was obvious when the BLM riots were going on. It was obvious when the fucking Football Lads Alliance protested in an infinitely less aggressive manner and got battered senseless by burly coppers in riot gear. I didn't even think there was any burly coppers anymore, but they found the fuckers when the Football Lads Alliance went out. When BLM was on the streets, it was a load of little short fat birds. Suddenly, Football Lads Alliance turns up and Paul fucking Bunyan with a riot hose turns up. I don't even know how that works, but it's a pretty good example of two-tier policing, isn't it? Isn't it? Little short fat birds, when BLM are on the march, throwing bricks at police horses, but then a couple of lads with footy shirts on say, maybe we shouldn't burn the cenotaph, maybe we shouldn't bulldoze statues without having a public consultancy, and out come the fucking brick shithouses. They probably just issued uniforms out to a few bootnecks and said, go on lads, go and cave some fucking heads in. Really weird. So, not fair. But, so we know what's going on. We have a nakedly partisan police force. Al, you know it. Al was a copper. Nowadays, we have a nakedly partisan police force. Tragic, but that's the way of it. 29 blokes. Those charged are, crikey, I'm not going to be able to get through this, am I? I'll have to change the names. Alan Albertson. Oh, look, they're all double A's. I'm not going to be able to do it, Anna. Adam Adams. Mark Jacobs. Matthew Adams. Harris. Oh, he sounds... middle name gives him away. Harris. I might be... Middle name. Fucking hell. Ruined it. So yeah, we know the crack. We know the crack. We know the crack. Any more Harrises? No. You know what is weird though? Whenever I read these lists, they are shorter names, aren't they? Is there not as many names? Like, how come there's always like 10 blokes with the same fucking name? It's weird. Maybe it's the same guy doing it and he's just lying about his age. And then we're all giving him bad rap. It might only be like 10 blokes, but they just changed their age. Yeah, maybe that's the crack. So, yeah, there we go. We know the crack there. We know why they got away with that. Because we have a nakedly partisan police force. That's why. And there was one story. Hopefully I can find it because I forgot to bookmark it. But there was one that I thought was linked because it was about a copper whinging about suing the police force because he was there when the Novichok. Remember when they poisoned Skipples in Salisbury? I can't find it now. But yeah, there was a Rosa who was, oh look, more BBC. What is Eden? When is it? Yeah, well, that's what I turn BBC News on for. I think, fucking hell, tell me what's happened in the world today. I'll tell you what, let's have a picture of two kids eating ice creams. I'll tell you all about Eid. That's not news. That's a religious festival. I'm not interested in fucking English religious festivals, let alone random fucking ones. I couldn't give a shite. I don't care about fucking England cricket games, let alone fucking religious festivals. No, unfortunately I can't find it. Ah well. But I did read it earlier. And I thought, how fucking typical. He's a copper, he's employed to protect and serve. And as soon as these modern coppers that are as soft as shite, there he is. Salisbury Novichok poisoned officer suing the police, right? Wet blanket, Nick Bailey. Poisoned in the Salisbury Novichok attack. He said he made 3 attempts to go back to work, but left after he couldn't deal with being in a police environment. That's not a real thing, is it? That's like this thing I keep talking about, PTSD. Everyone's got PTSD. It's the most overdiagnosed fucking ailment on planet Earth, PTSD. How many people who were so far in the rear they had to send the socks forwards to get washed? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I had PTSD. What regiment were you in? Oh, Her Majesty's Highland fucking Tent Repair Regiment. What do you mean you've got PTSD? From doing what? Pricking your finger on a fucking needle. Couldn't deal with being in a police environment. If that said something like Mr. Bailey has got leprosy, then I might go, oh yeah, probably needs to leave the force. If it said Mr. Bailey had both legs amputated because he got fucking Novichok poisoning and it fucked his nervous system up and we had to amputate his legs, then I'd say, yeah, fair enough, gotta leave the police force. But that shit, couldn't deal with being in a police environment, is code word for self-serving, modern shitweasel, looks for any excuse to sue the state. As usual, because they are all pansies. They have no spine at all. Think that's unfair? Well, sorry. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm just telling you what I'd do. In the Marines, I never once went to sick bay. I could be fucking dying, but I knew I'd get tortured and called a sick bay ranger if I did. So I never did it. If I can possibly continue, I will continue until I'm bleeding out of my arsehole. This guy, I just can't handle being in a police environment. Didn't get any physical injuries. It's like, oh, the mental scars of being sick for a few weeks. What are you talking about? There's coppers I know out there, ex-bootnecks, ex-paras, commandos, who deal with fucking a terrorist blows kids up, women and kids on London Bridge, and they're picking bone fragments out of children's faces, and they can deal with being in a police environment. They can deal with being in a police environment. I know guys who've had to deal with, physically had to stab people when they've disarmed them and they're fighting over a machete. That copper that fucking squared them away on London Bridge, he got slashed with a machete like 3 times. He's back at work. Because he's not a total shithouse. This guy, no action, nothing kinetic at all. He literally just walked in the fucking house and they went, oh, by the way, you've been exposed to Novichok. He went, oh, fuck. And then he got better a few weeks later, and now he's like, oh, I just can't deal with being in a police environment. Why? There's nothing kinetic about that. Nothing. He's just self-serving scum like so many of our modern police officers are. And again, I'm not having to go at the police, because I'm not a collectivist. Just been praising the police that I know, the police that I'm aware of, that aren't shithouse, modern, slack-jawed fucking pansy coppers. Tons of them are good lads. Tons of them are shit, like this guy. Because standards have gone out the window. Fucking level 7 on the bleep test. I could do the police bleep test on my fucking hands. It's a joke. It's a joke. So this guy, I've got no respect for this fucker. I couldn't deal with being in a police environment. Well, why did you join the police then? Reminds me of my dad talking about this, saying like, oh yeah, you literally see policewomen going, I didn't join the police to have to deal with criminals. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like a fireman saying, I didn't join the fire brigade to have to deal with fire. That's your job. Nobody else does that, do they? It's just public servants. Like going into Chippy. Fish and chips twice, please, mate. I didn't get a job in a Chippy to have to fry chips for the likes of you. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I didn't train as a bricklayer to lay bricks for working class scum like you. That's your fucking job, mate. Shut up and lay the bricks. Taxi drivers, where to, mate? Whoa. You're telling me where to take you? I'm not taking orders off you. It's your fucking job, dickhead. I give you money, you drive me where I want to go. That's what you get coppers saying now. I didn't join the police to have to deal with criminals. I didn't join the police to have to deal with violence. I seen one when last year, my officers didn't join the police to get assaulted. Yeah, you did. I know a guy who was an engineer, he had an engineering degree, and he left his job to become a copper in Borough. And people said, why did you leave your engineering gig? And he said, I just fucking love folding smackheads up. They're the people we need to recruit. Why do you want to be a copper? Because I fucking love Chew. Chew, I'm your man. Old women, kids, I'll stand in front of them to fold up smackheads all day long. Burglar wants to come and coil one out on your living room floor, I will boot him right up the fucking arse. That's the type of guy you want joining the police. Not these fucking woe is me, ooh, I just can't handle the stressful environment. Get a fucking life. Quit the police, take your pension money and start selling fucking scrapbooks on Etsy, you absolute shithouse. Nick Bailey, you fucking shithouse. And that's my money because I'm a taxpayer. I don't want you to have it. You've had a good salary for 20 fucking years. Let that be enough. Go on Etsy. Sell fucking scrapbooks. You absolute shithouse. Fuck me. Anyway, I've had enough. I've got raged, so I'm fucking off. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you want some shit art that's frankly not very good, have a look on Subscribestar and I'll put your name in the hat. Or check Coffee out because I don't get any money off YouTube. Got to have some carrots to keep doing this shit. It's fucking stressful reading the BBC. Talk about getting PTSD. I've got PTSD from doing the BBC Spews 36 fucking times in a row. Christ on a bike. Anyway, guys, joking aside, all is well in Bootneckville. Thanks for watching. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow, hopefully. See what time I get out. But yeah, always a pleasure. Like it, share it, do the biz. You know what's required.